Hello everyone and welcome to a special re-release of Hogwarts Radio number 187. This episode was released on March 13th, 2018 and discussed the very first Crimes of Grindelwald trailer. Now the trailer dropped today on July 21st will be discussed on tomorrow's episode number 205. Many things were cleared up for us about this first trailer, so we'll make it a point to mention that on the new episode. Thank you for your continued support. Hogwarts Radio Weekend continues right now. Coming up on this special edition of Hogwarts Radio, we're joined in studio by Megan and Katie, and this time we're live on Facebook to discuss the brand new trailer that was just released to Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. We'll tell you all about it, including our initial reactions, how refreshing it was to see some familiar characters, and so much more. Exactly what is Newt, Tina, Queenie, and Jacob up to this time? It's an episode you're not going to want to miss as we break it all down. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Hogwarts Radio, HPANA's official Harry Potter podcast.
This is Hogwarts Radio, episode 187 for March 13th, 2018. Hogwarts Radio is HPANA.com's Harry Potter podcast, discussing all things that interest you related to J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World. For the most up-to-date news on related projects, make sure you check out HPANA.com. Hello everyone, and this is Hogwarts Radio. If you're a first-time listener to the show, welcome and thanks for tuning in. And if you've been with us previously, welcome back. I'm Terrance Pinkston.
I'm Bailey Riddle.
I'm Megan Petras.
And I'm Katie Petras.
Hogwarts Radio can be found on iTunes, the Google Play Store, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and other places where podcasts are aggregated. Wherever and however you listen, be sure to tap the subscribe button so you can get a new episode as it's released. We also invite you to visit hogwartsradio.com to check out previous episodes of the show. While you're there, you can browse the site to learn a little more about the podcast, the people behind the microphone, and how you can become part of the team. Don't forget, we're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat. Leave us a comment about anything we've discussed on any of those outlets, and we'll read it on the show. Of course, if you prefer that old-fashioned email correspondence, yes, we've still got you covered with staff at hogwartsradio.com. We are live on Facebook right now to discuss the all-new trailer. I feel like 2010 called, and they want their headline back.
Talk about a blast from the past.
Oh my gosh.
Honestly.
That's no joke. That's no joke. We're joined today by Katie and Megan from Swish and Flick. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
And like I said, yeah, we're live on Facebook right now, video and all. So this is uncharted territory for us. Thank you for, for if you're tuning in right now or if you're tuning in after the fact, we just really appreciate you listening to us. It's been a big day, guys. Big day for Harry Potter news. The trailer was released to Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald, and boy, was that awesome.
To put it, short and sweet.
Yeah.
Very mildly.
Yeah. This was kind of a build-up, because yesterday we had a teaser released as well. The Fantastic Beasts Twitter account, or Warner Brothers, actually released a new logo of the Wizarding World featuring different kind of wands, and we'll talk about that here in just a minute. But it seems like they were really trying to hype this thing up.
I think they were pretty successful.
I would say, I would say so too.
Yeah, we had a ton of our listeners on our podcast send us pictures of their wands at the ready, get their wand and take a picture in front of their face, and it was really fun. It was a cool thing that we could pool and use to get other people excited too.
Even people were at work and they're I don't have my wand, but here's a letter opener.
Here's a pencil.
Yeah. What was it? They had a couple of the actors and actresses with their wands at the ready and things like that, which was really neat. And it was a cool way that WB thought of getting the community involved with, because like you said, you guys had listeners, we had people, tweeting at us and stuff like that. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, Dan Fogler.
Oh my God, it was so funny.
He was hilarious. With his chocolate covered pretzel and baguette.
Dan Fogler is all of us.
Yeah.
I loved Eddie Redmayne's, and it just didn't seem like a young, Newt Scamander that was really kind of innocent. Really, he just, I don't know, his hair was messed up and all that stuff. Seemed kind of disheveled, but some of them looked kind of creepy as well. I mean, I'm not saying creepy, but like, oh wow, yeah, this person really belongs in in the movie. Like Callum Turner's, for example, I'm looking at right now on Twitter, on his official Twitter account. Looks pretty cool. And now, correct me if I'm wrong. Are they holding their own wands? Like Eddie's holding Newt's wand, and
it did look like Newt's wand.
Yeah.
I think that Jacob definitely had his.
Yes, I mean,
I just can't get over the baguette. It was so funny.
Well, he wouldn't have one. He would have a baguette. I mean, that would be his wand if he had one.
I know, it was perfect.
I want him to be a wizard just as bad as he wants to be a wizard.
Yes, I know.
I wish he would have gotten his Hogwarts letter, or actually his Ilvermorny letter.
Yeah. That's weird.
So we had, I guess there was, in addition to that build-up and things like that, this morning they released the trailer, and almost immediately everybody took hold of it, and immediately people just really started to comment and not really bash, but say, "Oh, you can't apparate inside of Hogwarts," or things like that. I mean, point out the inconsistencies and the flaws and stuff like that. But what I really want to do right now is get into the initial reactions of this trailer. What did we think whenever we saw it? I mean, other than the general feeling of excitement, what did you guys think? What was running through your head? I mean, mine was, oh my God, there's a trailer.
I was not ready for all of the Hogwarts that we got in that trailer.
Yes. That first scene, I was just like, I just felt nostalgia. Like, it was just so...
You're home.
Yeah.
Felt like a cool drink of water on a hot summer's day, didn't it?
It felt like I drank Felix today.
That makes one of us. I mean... It felt refreshing, really, to see that all these familiar characters. We might not necessarily have seen Jude Law as Dumbledore before, but we've seen Dumbledore. So I really think that was the, that was the kind of welcome home, in addition to being there in Hogwarts. And I mean, Jude Law is looking all kinds of swag. I mean, he really is.
Yeah.
The trailer itself, there was a lot of good new information in. And some of which we'll break down today, and then we'll provide kind of like a play-by-play analysis on future episodes. But for right now, it's kind of more of a reaction episode, and how what we perceive of things right now. And as we have time to dissect that throughout the upcoming weeks and months, we'll go ahead and feature that on future episodes. So what I thought would be fun right now to do is to before we watch it. Before we discuss it, is to actually watch it. And if you're watching live on Facebook right now, you can go ahead and just tune into the screen or follow along, whichever. But here's the trailer.
I have some questions for you, Professor.
This is a surprise.
There's a rumor that Newt Scamander is headed to Paris. I know he's working under your orders. What do you have to say for yourself, Dumbledore?
If you'd ever had the pleasure to teach him, you'd know Newt is not a great follower of orders.
Swag.
The time's coming, Newt, when you're gonna have to pick a side.
Are you going somewhere?
No, we're going somewhere.
Jeez.
I can't move against Grindelwald. It has to be you.
Ooh, the chills.
Is it November yet?
Is it no?
Thank
right?
God there are 5 of these.
Oh my gosh! I know.
Honestly.
So
5 isn't going to be enough.
yeah. Well, we can honestly expect more. I mean, many more trailers. What you got So this was a teaser trailer, and it was a very long teaser trailer. It was like a minute 57 seconds, which teaser trailers usually aren't over 90 seconds, if I'm mistaken. So this one was considerable.
Bordering on trailer length.
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I was surprised at how long it was.
Not complaining.
No, yeah.
Oh yeah, totally not complaining at all. So and we still got the official trailer. We've got the international trailer. We've got the TV spots. We've got a lot over the next couple of months. So there's a lot to I guess discuss and a lot to get through really with that. But this trailer, a lot of good content. The opening shot, of course, revealing the rolling Scottish hills and Hogwarts and the Black Lake, and seeing that again, like we had just said, felt like we were home.
Yeah, that brought some pure joy there.
I mean, we're all just sitting here smiling.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. When I saw that the first time, I was actually sitting in my car after work watching it for the first time, and I just started crying. I was like, oh my god, it's Hogwarts.
Yeah, I texted Terrance today, and I was like, I'm at work, and I'm crying because I'm so excited.
Seems like this trailer made everybody cry, huh? Jeez.
Tears of joy.
Tears of joy, right? A lot of people really picked out of the trailer was that the next scene that we have is some wizards apparating in, which is crazy because you can't apparate inside of Hogwarts, right? Am I right?
Yeah,
or am I
maybe
delusional?
It's like right on the cusp.
Maybe, I mean, yeah, maybe because they're not actually inside the castle.
I don't know.
But I thought it was you couldn't apparate onto the ground.
The grounds. Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Where's
and
Hermione?
What was the other thing that we suggested? Oh, maybe it just like isn't a rule yet.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was an enchantment made by Dumbledore. One of the protections that he helped put on to the school.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
I like that.
But maybe only after he was a headmaster, so...
Very true, yeah, because, I mean, if you have somebody going around putting enchantments on the school that, really isn't in a position of authority, and Dumbledore, at this point, he's just a transfiguration professor in the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom for some reason. We'll get to that in a minute. But
nostalgia.
he's really somebody that doesn't have a lot of power, right? Doesn't have a lot of power in the wizarding world yet. I mean, people know who he is. People know that he's very smart. But as far as really anything significant that he's done, no, nothing. And speaking of Dumbledore, we get our first view of Jude Law as Dumbledore. Guess who's back? Okay, that was dumb. What really surprised me, and I think I tweeted this out earlier, was this marks the first time that we've actually seen Albus Dumbledore on the screen since 2011, and also the first time that he's been alive on the screen since 2008. Guys, that's 10 years since we've seen Dumbledore on the screen.
That makes me feel so old.
Too soon. Too soon.
Yeah. So I think, that raises a definite level of excitement because, last time we saw him alive, he was being knocked off the astronomy tower. So I think it was definitely
sad.
It was. I have to steal a line from Harry on this one, even though he said it to McGonagall. But it's definitely good to see you again, Professor. I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a ministry official that comes in and goes, I have some questions for you, Dumbledore. Or, I have some questions for you, Professor. And Dumbledore's like, yeah, this is a surprise. And, sassy and everything. And then he goes, there's a rumor Newt Scamander's headed to Paris. I know he's working under your orders. What do you have to say for yourself, Dumbledore? And, Dumbledore looking all GQ and 7 different styles of swag goes, if you ever had the pleasure to teach him, Newt is not a great follower of orders. And then kind of that smirk right there, right? We see that Dumbledore smirk, that little twinkle or something, which was
can't deny.
Fantastic.
Dumbledore's got style.
I thought it was so great seeing Dumbledore in at least in some capacity. I mean, we're obviously going to see more of him, but it felt great to see him again.
It was nice to see dashing Dumbledore.
Dashing Dumbledore. Not old man Dumbledore.
Very dashing Dumbledore.
You really can't tell. I mean, I know that we'll have many discussions on this, and things like that. And this is this first instance we're seeing Dumbledore, but you really can't tell his sexuality, at least from the scenes that we've seen, which was a big thing in the fandom a couple of weeks ago. But I don't know. I mean, I want to see Dumbledore. There's so much I want to see of Dumbledore. There's so much I want to know of Dumbledore. I want to know. I want to be able to see kind of that internal pain that he's holding for Grindelwald and things like that.
Yeah. I think that at this moment in time, I'm okay with how he's being portrayed. I think that
as long as we get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see it down the road, but yeah.
What if we get it in the last 5 minutes of movie 5?
All right, now that's not okay.
Yeah,
I don't know. As long, it's hard because I know that like JK or whoever doesn't want to step on toes because not everybody has the same views, which is bogus, I think, at this time in history. But I think that they might just kind of be scared still to just do it. I think that they need to I think it would be awesome if this fandom was the first fandom that just did it. Just do it. Bring it to light. Let it be a thing. Let it be normal. And just do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
just kind of rip that proverbial Band-Aid off a little bit. And I guarantee it won't hurt as much as they think it's going to. Because a lot of this fandom, that's, what they identify with. So that's, and that's, I think there would be huge... just cloud of support. Not really a cloud even.
The fans would love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we're married.
Yeah, absolutely.
We would love it.
I would love to see it.
So moving along, we'll move along through the trailer here, kind of highlight the I guess the big points in it. The classroom itself that Dumbledore's in, we recognize that staircase anywhere, right? It's the one where we can almost see Gilderoy Lockhart sitting there painting a picture of himself.
Gilderoy Lockhart.
So the next shot is Newt going to Paris. The Ministry of Magic has come to Hogwarts to ask Dumbledore about a missing in action Newt Scamander, who's rumored to be heading to Paris, and that's whenever Dumbledore, comes up with all this sass and things like that. It's really interesting, and I got to thinking about this. Why would the Ministry be looking for Newt? I don't understand that.
I don't know.
Everybody's like, I don't know.
Maybe
That's a
they
good
have
question.
questions about Yeah, maybe they have questions about the beasts, or maybe they have questions about the capture of Grindelwald, because maybe at this point he's escaped. So they want... I don't know.
Maybe Newt had it. They think that Newt had a hand in it, but I mean, Newt is
Possibly.
He's a magizoologist. So what would a magizoologist? Well, I mean, okay, so I think it's safe to assume that they think he has some hand in it because he had some hand in playing his capture or something like that.
Yeah.
He was the only one who seemed smart enough to figure it out that he was Grindelwald and not Graves.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But still, I mean, I would love to hear more people's thoughts on it, on why the Ministry is looking for Newt, and what is he doing in Paris anyway? You know, is he continuing his travels and looking for more beasts, caring for more beasts, or, you know, is he teaching a class of Bowbattens? We don't, I don't know. But the next shot is Putter Outer. We see a Putter Outer, guys. The Deluminator. Can't even say that word.
Yeah.
And by the way, Pottermore has a really great breakdown in which we're going off of today. So you can go ahead and go on to pottermore.com and click the trailer link, and it shows a complete breakdown of it. And so that's where we'll be discussing the bulk of our information today. So in the excitement of seeing Dumbledore and Hogwarts, if that wasn't enough, we also get to see the street lamp go off in a magical way that can only be achieved with a Deluminator, much like the one that Dumbledore has. So, could this be the same one?
Makes me wonder when he made it.
Right?
Because he's pretty young in this. So
Yeah, absolutely. Well, maybe he made it as a way as to use as a weapon, you know, whenever him and Grindelwald were planning world domination.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it's interesting to think that he was really making things that young. I mean, just objects. I mean, what else was he making? Was he making spells? Was he making potions? Was he, you know, what was he doing? You know, we know that he's smart. I mean, he seems like to me like not a young Seamus Finnegan, but like something like let's put this in this. Oh, let's put this in this, and then like something blows up. Well, that didn't work. Okay, let's try something else. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if Snape was making spells in Hogwarts with his like potions book, I'm sure Dumbledore has made plenty by now.
He did discover the 12 uses of dragon blood.
Yeah, but I wonder if he's done that by now, or if that's something that comes later.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. The next shot, we see Newt and Dumbledore in London. Now, you may be off to Paris, but we can also see Newt in London atop St. Paul's rooftop to secretly meet with Dumbledore. We learned that Dumbledore in the last movie made a strong case for Newt not to be expelled from Hogwarts, so we know that he really thought fondly of him. And on a completely unrelated note, that hat, though. Look at that. Look at that hat, that Dumbledore bowler hat.
Like I said before, he's dashing.
Oh my god! What happened to him?
I don't see it.
What? What happened to Dumbledore? I mean, he went from dressing like all Dapper Dan and things like that, all the way to bright colored robes and long beard and.
I mean, if you're an old man, you want to be comfy in your robes too. So I get it.
Oh, okay.
He looks very hipster in this movie.
He really does. He looks good.
He does look good.
A lot of people having Dumbledore daddy issues, but
so wrong.
Can't believe I just said that. Instead of Dumbledore, it should be the Yumbledore. The Yumbledore.
Yeah.
The next shot we see, and this one kind of baffles me a little bit, but clearly that's Grindelwald. We can see Grindelwald. He didn't stay arrested for very long. We see him in front of a huge crowd in this room, and it looks like this room looks like one of the courtrooms, right? That was used in in the Ministry of Magic. However, as I was thinking about this a little more, and I was talking to a few friends about it, he's still in America at this point, most likely. So would this be in the this is presumably in MACUSA, in MACUSA's Department of Mysteries. Do they have a Department of Mysteries? That's interesting.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery.
It's a
It is.
mystery.
It is.
The first time I saw this shot, I immediately thought, "Oh, is that a court, like something going on with like a court date or something?" But then I'm like, "Oh, well, he's like not chained or anything, so clearly that's like his followers."
Ooh,
That hurts. A very free court.
that's
Yeah.
very interesting to think about. And I'm kind of trying to zoom in on the image here. Yeah, because he's clearly holding a wand. This lady.
Yeah, and like his stance is just very like powerful, like all almighty powerful. Like he's in command. Yeah.
The people.
And, yeah, I don't know.
The people that are there are all standing there with their hands folded. That's interesting. I'm really zoomed in on the image here. That's crazy. And then,
Also-
go ahead.
Do you think they're all
Apparently-
singing Kumbaya?
Yes. The person next to him, I believe, is supposed to be like his kind of like the Bellatrix to Voldemort.
I don't know, like,
Is it-
how people are assuming that, but
Yeah.
that's what I've read online, that's supposed to be Rosier?
Oh yeah.
Rosier?
Mhm.
Descended
Rosier?
from Death Eater, right?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
ancestor too.
Yes.
It's interesting. There's a guy here holding his hand kind of over his heart. Maybe all these people, these followers, are pledging their allegiance to Grindelwald. That's weird. Also, there's it looks like I want to say there are tombs around here.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like there's a like a statue laying down on some sort of a tapestry, and there's about two of them.
It could just be like decorative stonework too, though.
Yeah, sure. I could get on board with that, but I think that as we know about the Ministry, like things are there for a significant reason. I don't know. I want to talk about the thing that she has in her hand real quick. This Rosier lady, what she has in her hand looks like an orb. Could that possibly be a prophecy?
Ooh.
And he's
That's a good point.
He's given a prophecy. He's letting the people hear the prophecy, or something like that. I don't know.
But what if it's not good and they all hear it and they're like, "Oh, well, this guy sucks."
Well, I don't know. They're all standing there pretty intent. So
Maybe it hasn't told them what it is yet.
yeah, that's
They're
true.
about to all turn away.
Okay, let's leave.
Right. The next shot is Tina and Queenie in Paris. And really, as we saw in the last movie, after an emotional goodbye between Newt and Tina, Tina's now in Paris. So she has joined, presumably, Kowalski and Newt. So
Tina looks so good.
Yeah.
She does, but so different.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, she's not wearing the hat. The hat was
Yeah.
kind of her
And
staple.
there's no mustard on her face.
This is true. That definitely helps
She's
her
looking
out.
very French.
And Queenie, Queenie is like my girl.
She's my queen.
I love her. She looks great. I love her hair. I love everything about her. Alison Sudol, you're my girl.
They're looking very emotional in this trailer.
They are.
Not just in these two shots, but in other shots that they're both in as well. That makes me kind of wonder what's going on. They're in Paris, so are they chasing Grindelwald? Are they trying to find? Are they going to the rescue of Jacob and Newt?
That's a good point. Because Tina's an Auror now, so
Mm-hmm.
she
She's gotta
could
get
even
her man back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Queenie's gonna follow Tina wherever she goes.
Absolutely, she will.
Because that's how they are. So
they're gonna bring them hot cocoa all the way from New York.
Aww. Will we see the love reform with? Well, okay. So here's so the next shot. Hang on. Let me talk about this first. Jacob's back, right? We kind of said that just a minute ago, but Jacob is officially back, and he's excited. He's really excited. But here's the question: did he get his memory back? And if he did, how? And did Newt just have to reintroduce himself all over again? And then the second part to that is him and Queenie. Are they going to fall in love again, or is like that love magic going to be overpowering? And
always there.
I have a pretty strong opinion on what I think happened with Jacob from the last movie, because Newt specifically says that that venom gets rid of bad memories, and none of the memories that Jacob had were bad, really. So I think that he never really truly forgets everything. I think maybe his memory is foggy because like he still was rained on with the venom.
Maybe it's more like a dream to him.
Yeah, but I think that he will still remember everything. And if Newt just introduces himself again, like it will come back. That's my theory.
Well, you've got a couple of people agreeing with you in our Facebook chat here. Kara Ann says yes, Megan. Jessica also says definitely. Jessica also says she's so happy that Jacob is back. That it's just wonderful to see him again. And I mean, it is great to see Jacob again because he's one of those beloved characters. He's one of those characters that he's not hard to love. He really is.
He's relatable.
Yeah.
Because we all want to be him. Like we have the same feelings as Jacob. He's us in the wizarding world.
Yeah.
I love him. Yeah.
Sydney says, that's why he could make those yummy looking breads and sweets, and he really never lost his memory. And then Wayne kind of agrees. So it's like a general consensus all the way around here. So thank you to you guys that are participating in the chat right now. We really appreciate it. It's good to hear your thoughts as well. I mean, Jacob, it's exciting to see him. He asked Newt, you're going somewhere? And Newt's like, no, we're going somewhere. And Jacob's like, did you put your name in the goblet of fire?
I'm convinced that Jacob sounds like he has an accent.
It
almost sounds like Scottish or Irish, but he sounds like he's talking with an accent.
We were talking about this before the show, and I played it a couple of times, and it did sound, I don't know, kind of like he was trying. Again. Yeah, let me see if I can.
Sounds off.
Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can actually bring that part up here, because it did sound a little weird.
I'm gonna have to pick a side. Are you going somewhere?
No, we're going somewhere.
It's like, are you going somewhere? No, we're going somewhere. And then, Jacob's like, yes.
I love it.
He's blending in with his surroundings.
Right.
He really is, yeah. Amanda says, we all wish we could be Jacob and go along with Newt. I think that would be a fun adventure. I don't know about you guys. So let's move to the next shot. Talk about that a little bit. Credence is back, and so is the Obscurus. So they're on Credence is on a rooftop with, it looks like Maledictus. I think that's who that might be. There's a mysterious black fog that seems to be emerging from Credence. And we know that that's an Obscurus, a dark magical phenomenon that's created and repressed by witches and wizards. What's interesting to me is that Maledictus, who is she, really?
I don't... I'm assuming she's in the circus that we see coming up.
What, didn't you have a theory about her, Megan?
Yeah, Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. So.
Yeah, I think that. Well, there's the theory that I've read online that she potentially could be Nagini.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole concept of a maledictus is that it's like they have a beast inside them and they have to turn into that beast, and then
eventually
it's permanent. And that she's known as Snake Girl in the circus. So I like that theory. I want it to be real because that's so cool. So, and you know, who knows? Like, that could mean that Voldemort maybe had a love interest with her, possibly, and that kind of that like solidifies his obsession with Nagini whenever he is like taking her around everywhere. Not only because like she becomes a Horcrux, but she's already a dark creature, so maybe that's why the Horcrux doesn't affect her as it does other animals, like they do in the woods. Like, yeah, if you like, I don't know, if like somebody possesses an animal, usually they get it lessens their lifespan. So I don't know. It's a cool theory. I hope that it's true because that would be really awesome.
That is very interesting. We'll have to see how that plays out. Maybe, you know, this movie or next, we'll see if she turns out to be who you think she might be.
I wonder what it would be like to be a human that turns into a snake.
I wouldn't want to do it.
I don't think we'll find too many people who would want to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe people who really like snakes would, but I don't. They terrify me.
That's really true.
Hard pass.
Let's talk about a new French magical location that we see here. It's a glorious glass dome-shaped building that's embossed with words such as dragon and centaur and le nifleur. Can't even say it. Le nifleur. My French sucks, you guys. Le nifleur. Now we're definitely not fluent in French, obviously, but we're going to make a wild guess and say that the latter means niffler. So what exactly is this building? What do you guys think? It's not Beauxbatons. I can tell you right now. Well, okay. I don't think it's Beauxbatons.
Maybe it's their magical creature department.
Well, that was my initial thought, right?
Yeah. I was going to say that it was like probably the French version of the ministry, and maybe this is the department in their ministry of magical creatures.
Les nundus, les merlap. My French accent sucks, you guys. That's very, very possible. Yeah, I mean that's one of the initial things that I had thought as well, was that it was, you know, that department within their Ministry of Magic. Because I mean, we can see clearly if we zoom in on some of the stills that they have, people in business attire, right? Business suits. You know, people are very well dressed, and this isn't, obviously it's not like Beauxbatons, because we would have people running around in, you know, I'm sure their school uniforms. So it's definitely a good theory. We could see, I'm assuming is the entrance to this location a little further down as like stairways and things like that, or I don't know, turbo lifts or whatever the hell they use. I have no clue. But nonetheless, it's cool to see a French wizarding location. I think this is going to be the first one that we do see. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see here. We have we've got this this next shot here that it's some sort of a formal, right? Some sort of a dance, and for the life of me, cannot figure this out. But that's not, I assume that's not what's important in this. What's important is the person that we see, and we're assuming that that's actually Lita Lestrange. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I wonder what significance is she holding in this movie. She's an old school friend of Newt's that he would really rather not talk about. She is a Lestrange, So she's related, to later on it's going to be Bellatrix and things like that. I mean, we really can't read her, really can't talk about her because we don't know what she does or anything like that.
I don't think I like her, and I don't really know that much about her, but I just I don't like her.
Well, what gives you that bad impression?
Did Newt wrong.
Well, yeah, clearly she did something to Newt because he has a picture of her in his case. He doesn't want to talk about her, and he says something about how she just changed. And now she's engaged to his brother.
I'm assuming
gives me a bad feeling.
I'm assuming he doesn't talk to his brother very much either.
Yeah.
Love triangle.
Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe this is an engagement party or something.
Oh, maybe. That's a good thought.
That is a good idea.
That's really interesting.
Because she does everybody looks super fancy at it, but yeah, I don't know.
I don't think it's any kind of a fundraiser or anything like that.
No.
There is this kind of silver wisp that I initially thought was a Patronus in there, and of course Patronuses are, they're meant to keep the bad things away, bad things at bay. Dementors obviously, but it's really what I originally thought it was. And as I zoom into this a little bit more, I can pretty much scratch that theory out. Okay. Well, never mind about that. Sorry for wasting everybody's time.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of just assumed that it was a decorative magical feature to the dance or whatever that's going on. Mm-hmm. I guess I didn't really think too deep into it. I was just it's a pretty element. Right. I don't know.
That's true. It's true. Nonetheless, interested to see what that family connection is. The next one, we see Newt riding an underwater dragon. No, just kidding. It's called the KELPIE. It's called the KELPIE. And this looks like, we can assume that it's the Black Lake. It does look like it from Goblet of Fire. And at this point, we really just have the movies to go off of. We don't have a book with a description or anything like that. But it seems to be covered in seaweeds and vines, and it's a murky green color. Why in the hell is Newt riding a KELPIE in the Black Lake?
Why the heck not?
Oh, that's a good reason. Sure.
He's exploring.
It must be a quick ride because he doesn't have a bubblehead charm or anything.
That's true.
That's true. Well, it looked like they were going pretty fast.
Yeah.
That's true.
Maybe he ate some gillyweed.
Maybe.
This is true.
Next shot is somebody working things out. It's a character, and I'm assuming this is going to be Dumbledore, just because of the hat.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. So this guy's covered in light projections of words and pictures and mysterious masks, and it's clearly they're trying to piece together a puzzle of some sort. And as I zoomed in on the image earlier because I thought I saw Lestrange in there. I really did. It said Lestrange, Corvus Lestrange, Corvus Lestrange, or something like that. And there's a bunch of it says Lita Lestrange on one of the masks. Somebody else Lestrange. So I'm assuming this is kind of like a wow, there's a lot of Lestranges in here. Josette Lestrange. So I'm really
like a family tree.
Well, maybe, or how they all tie into it to each other in a crime or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, this almost looks like a sewer or something.
Mm-hmm.
So it must be someone's hideout. They're doing research.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. We can see a lot of documents just strewn about, parchment and paper and stuff. It doesn't really look like anybody's here for a long time, but they just come really down here to do some work. So that's interesting. The next shot is of the circus. Let's all go to the circus, guys.
I would love to go to this circus.
This circus looks awesome.
Yeah.
If it's a magical circus, heck yeah.
Yeah.
We've heard talk of a wizarding circus being involved in the film before. This is actually our first shot of it in all its glory. We know that Claudia Kim's character set to be an attraction, and that there is going to be a character called Skender, who is the owner, and we're ready to see the big show. So how does a wizarding circus work exactly?
It kind of seems as if it's like a freak show, kind of.
Really? Right?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe people throwing spells at each other in effort to control them, make them do acrobatics or something like that. I don't know how a wizarding circus. I'm interested to see what our listeners in the chat think. We could see. I really don't know. I'm puzzled about this. I mean, it obviously involves witches and wizards with their own extraordinary, unique powers, even more so than the usual. Maybe a couple of obscuri in there.
Maybe like metamorphic.
Metamorphomagus.
Whatever tongue it is.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of taboo around them, so
yeah.
Especially back in the day, even so even more so.
Yeah,
maybe the circus would be a home for them.
Bubble people. Bubble people. That's funny. Snake girls. People that eat weird things. Yeah, more
Parcel
of a freak
mouths.
show. Yeah.
Ooh.
More of a freak show. Yeah, I definitely can get on board with that. The whole spectacle appears to take place in France, and one of the Moulin Rouge-esque signs seems to say Les Circus Arcanes. I fail at French, guys. Like this is not.
Meg, come on, you took French.
Oh, don't put me on the spot.
Do it.
Oh, do it.
Les Circus, or I think it would just be like Les Circus Arcanes. I think you would say the S. I don't know. I'm done.
Merci.
French for today.
Merci beaucoup. So the Latin.
I have enough trouble pronouncing English words.
The Latin for arcanus roughly means secret. So imagine all sorts of things here. The Secret Circus. Yeah. That sounds interesting. The Secret Circus. Jessica in our chat says we probably don't know all of these kinds of special ailments in the wizarding world, so it's very, very open for J.K. Rowling to be creative with it. And I have to agree with her. I mean, we'll see things like we haven't even thought of, or we didn't ever think we'd think of. You know,
we would know everything if we had an encyclopedia.
Amen. Oh.
Or a piece of reference material called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, right? Guys?
Yeah.
Nope. Okay, guess not. We see Pickett. The next shot. Pickett is back. What up, Pickett?
I got so excited.
Are you serious?
I was so pumped.
I was like, it's Pickett.
I love Pickett. We have a little Pickett. He's so cute.
Oh my god. What about Pickett attracts you or makes you excited for him?
He's sassy.
Yeah, he's got an attitude, and it's funny.
That's true.
He's just this little dude, but he loves Newt, and he gets all mad at Newt, sticks his little tongue out. So cute.
The sass, that's what attracts me.
Little Bowtruckle sass. I love it. Next we see Credence, the rage of Credence. After surviving his obscure...
so angry.
He does a great face.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Dang, he looks like, yeah.
He looks pouty.
That's a mad face right there. Hey, but you know what? At least he got rid of his bowl cut. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be so mad.
Why is Credence so mad? Is it because Harry put his name in the Goblet of Fire? Or somebody put his
Probably.
name.
Most likely.
Just kidding.
Because he can't control himself.
He's clearly becoming more powerful, as we saw in the earlier scene, and understandably has been angry from the events of the first film. So he is one of those characters that is he's going to become very dangerous, I think. And it's almost scary to see how mad he's going to become because he doesn't control his magic, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
At least not that we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Maybe he's learning to control it.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, if you look back at that that screenshot or scene of Credence and the Maledictus, it looks like you can see the black obscurus stuff, whatever you want to call it. But it looks much more controlled in that scene than it did in the previous movie. So I think that maybe the Maledictus is Maledictus, I don't know how to say it. But maybe she's teaching him how to control it.
That's very true. Yeah, and the more that he learns how to control it, the more of a danger he's really going to become.
Definitely.
And to not only to like his enemies, but I think to if he has any allies, if he has any friends or anything like that, at this point, he's going to be just a real big danger to them as well. And I'm kind of curious to see if Dumbledore is going to be the one that has to confront this, and what kind of memories that's going to bring back for him with Ariana.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah. Credence, he's really had kind of this rough life so far, and as Jessica's saying in the chat, I don't know if he's ever been happy to begin with. So that's also very true.
Poor Credence.
I do kind of feel bad for Credence.
So misunderstood.
Yeah.
He was
and used.
Yeah, used.
He was an orphan, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
What if he was? I don't even know. I it's a half-formed thought. And what if he was conceived under kind of the same circumstances that Riddle was conceived at?
Yeah.
Or if Credence is actually related to the Riddles.
Yeah, like who are his parents? Maybe that's going to be some part of the storyline, you know?
Oh,
like his ancestry plays a role in who he's going to become.
Yeah. I'm sure he was an orphan in the story for a reason. JK never just like does anything.
Right,
yeah,
right.
So I'm sure that'll play a role.
I wonder if we're going to find that out in this movie or the next. That's going to be really interesting. I don't know if his storyline's going to be as big as it needs to be in this movie, or if it's actually going to be the next, or even, you know, if he's going to make it all the way to movie 4. But I really think it's going to be one of those characters that he builds out, that they build out his power, just to see how powerful he becomes, and somebody like I said, Dumbledore's going to take him down, or even Grindelwald might take him out, and that'll showcase Grindelwald's power at that point. That's very, very scary. Very scary to think about. The next shot, let's see, what else do we got here? We have we have the back in New York. It's two men ride a carriage pulled by a troop of black flying horses down the MACUSA building, and it looks like those horses are the same Thestrals we've seen in Harry Potter. Magical winged horses that can only be seen by witches or wizards that have witnessed death, along with a stagecoach as well. This looks like, I mean, we've seen this before, haven't we? We've seen it in Goblet of Fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's immediately what I thought of, was the flying carriage of the Beauxbaton students.
Yeah. So this is possibly the either the transport or maybe a bit of the breakout of Grindelwald, and I think this might be the actual since this is set in New York, this might be the last part that we see in New York at the very beginning of the movie, and then the rest of the movie obviously taking place in other locations. And this, like I said, obviously transporting Gellert Grindelwald. And we see the next shot. It is Grindelwald. And he looks like he's been put through hell a little bit. He looks like he's been incarcerated. Rough. Yeah, very rough. I mean, he no longer has the short buzz cut. He's got the long Jack Sparrow hair going on, almost.
Blonde Jack.
Yeah. He looks very pale. So we can safely assume that he has not been kept in sunlight. Assuming he's been kept in like some sort of solitary confinement at that point. So this is obviously the transport event. People are assuming orders or holding their wands at him. He's got. I didn't know this. He has one different colored eye than the other one. Was that the same in the last movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He looks like he's in prisoner's clothes, kind of like what Sirius Black wore in Azkaban. So
it almost looks like a suit, though. Like he's got like a weird jacket. I guess maybe because he's being transported, that's like a jacket that they give them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
They pulled it out of the trash or something here. Put this on.
I wonder how on earth he does manage to evade MACUSA and escape. I mean, is it just as simple as somebody forgetting to do something and he kind of took advantage of the situation, or do we really think he physically overpowered somebody, took their wand and, disapparated or did some sort of magic?
I'm hoping it's something. Oh, go ahead.
Maybe he convinces one of the guards or whatnot of his ways, and he turns them into one of his followers.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Kind of converts them
It does say it's
inside.
a dramatic escape, so I hope it's something totally awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I assume so. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he's just going to say, hey, look that way, and then steal his wand and then, kind of take off,
Maybe it's as simple as that.
Maybe the security in America is not nearly as good as Azkaban. Who knows?
Right.
Oh, so many real-world references to that. I mean, we're talking about the 20s here. Assuming this is the 1920s still, not the 1930s, right?
Yeah, I think that it's supposed to take place in the 20s. I don't really think it's very long after.
I think it's 2 to 4 years after.
I think that might even be long.
Yeah.
I feel like it was released at one point, how long it was between these two movies, but I don't remember it being long at all.
I want to say this is 28.
1928?
That sounds about right.
Before the stock market crash, you think?
Sure.
I wonder if this had something to do with it. He caused, all the hell that he caused getting out of America and getting back to either France or the UK, if he caused the stock market to crash in his wake,
I am really excited to see real world comparisons between the wars and everything, or World War II, I guess. No. Yeah. I'm not good at history. I'm excited to see real world comparisons in our history and how it plays into this.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that she incorporates that. So
are we going to see the Depression?
Right.
And what that meant to the wizards?
Mm-hmm.
I think the Depression was more. Okay, so my economic history might be off here, but the Depression was more just America, or was it confined to world markets as well? That's a good question.
I'm pretty sure it was mostly America.
Mostly America, right? That's what I'm thinking as well. I mean, it was.
We might see it through Tina and Queenie, and if it affects them at all, or I don't know if they'll even go back to America. I don't know.
Yeah, that's very true. It's very true. I wonder if we'll see America at all again.
I want to see Ilvermorny.
I do too.
Right?
I really do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the next shot, Dumbledore is back in London, and he tells Newt that he can't be the one to make the move against Grindelwald, and I'm assuming because the Ministry really is watching Dumbledore at this point to see what he's going to do, and Dumbledore's just kind of keeping a low profile. So it has to be Newt. So we're sure, like I said, I'm sure that Dumbledore has his reasons for this, but...
Or, Dumbledore just likes to make everyone do the dirty work.
That's what I was going to say.
Dumbledore...
I go back and forth on my love and hate of Dumbledore, but he likes to have sacrificial lambs, doesn't he?
That's the new Rita Skeeter book. The love and hate of Albus Dumbledore.
Oh, he's raising Newt as a pig for slaughter, right?
Yeah.
Oh, poor Newt. Oh, I feel sorry for him now. Dang. You remember whenever Dumbledore did this in this series, he did this to Harry for being the only one who could take on Voldemort,
Mm-hmm.
So that might play into the. I mean, obviously this is way before that time, but still, Harry being Newt being the only one to take on Grindelwald, and then Dumbledore just comes in there and sweeps up the mess a little bit. He's like, "Look what I did, guys! I cut the wizard." Give me a chocolate frog now. The next shot we have is of Newt and Theseus doing some amazing things with the wand. Really cool. Whatever's going on with Lita, it seems that Newt is going to be reunited with his brother in this movie at some point. They're doing some really handy wand work. And the floor opens below them. It cracks open. I don't know what kind of what they're trying to do with this. Obviously they're facing some very powerful magic, some dark magic. I'm not even convinced it's Grindelwald at this point. It might be something, I don't know, it might be Credence for all we know.
Yeah, possibly. And they're in a graveyard.
Oh, is that a graveyard?
Weird. Yeah, if you look, you can see like a headstone with a cross, and then there's like some type of monument headstone right behind them. It's it's creepy.
Yeah. Oh,
what
wow.
are you doing creeping in a graveyard?
That's interesting.
Please no more Inferi. Please no more.
Well, could Theseus die in this movie? Because, history with graveyards and the series really doesn't play out too well.
This is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we know that Newt doesn't die.
Is he the spare? Oh no.
Theseus is the spare. Kill the spare.
Kill the spare.
Emily in the chat says, I can see Newt and his brother having sort of the relationship Percy had with his siblings in a way, or maybe Regulus and Sirius if he's going down a darker path, which is something else completely. So that's a very good point, Emily.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sibling rivalry, and then they come back together, for the greater good. That's interesting. Very interesting. So I mean, and that's pretty much it, guys. We have after that, it'll cut to the title card and things like that, and then of course coming November 16th, 2018. I want to wrap up this episode with kind of really final thoughts from the panel on just sheer excitement and what we're really looking forward to. For myself, I really want to see the development of these characters, and I think that's something that J.K. Rowling does very well through storytelling, is that she knows how to tell the story. She knows how to develop her characters, and she knows what she can and can't make these characters do. I guess, you can't, obviously we're not going to see, Kowalski holding a wand and trying to, do magic. That's not in his character. That, he's more of a sidekick, comedy relief, kind of, sort of, yeah. But I'm really interested to see how she's gonna tie this all in. So, yeah. Bailey, what about you? What are you most excited for in this movie?
I'm really excited to see the French wizarding world. I think that one of the great is going to be that we get to see so many new places in the wizarding world and what that looks like.
This is true. Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
Megan and Katie, what are you ladies looking forward to?
I've never wanted summer to go by faster than I do this year.
It's so sad.
Yeah.
So sad.
Agreed.
Because I am over winter, let me tell you, but I want it to be November.
Oh my goodness.
I'm excited to because we have Fantastic Beasts, and that was the groundwork. And it was a fun, kind of more lighthearted movie, but you can tell that this is going to dive deep real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for the mystery of it and just this completely brand new mystery story,
Yeah, I really love the Fantastic Beasts series for the reason that we don't have really anything to be disappointed about because we're not comparing it to a book. So it's all brand new material. There's nothing for us to be oh, I wish she would have done this way or something. I mean, I guess there is to a point because you're going to want certain things to happen in the story, just like with any story, but it's different than Potter.
Right. It's not like Dumbledore said.
Less of a direct comparison.
Right.
Exactly.
And then in the movie, it's, So.
To put your name in the goblet of fire.
And I think that's kind of the most refreshing thing about this entire series is that we don't know the story, guys. We don't know how the storyline's going to play out. We don't know how the characters to play out, and I think that's wonderful because we don't have anything to compare it to. We can't get pissed at anything. Right? Although we find,
can.
I mean, yeah, we find stuff to get pissed about.
We know it will happen.
Well, I think that's about it. We want to thank the panel for joining us today. Katie and Megan, thank you so much. You said, I know you guys had a couple of recordings to do before this, but really appreciate you guys taking the time out and joining us for this episode.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. And where can they find you guys online?
Swish and Flick Podcast on Facebook or Swish Flickcast on Twitter and Instagram.
Awesome sauce. And you guys have a Disney podcast too, right?
We do. We just started a new podcast called Grown Up Kids, and we're doing a chronological viewing of most of Walt's movies. Starting with Snow White, and we've got Snow White and Pinocchio out so far. This weekend is Fantasia. So
Fantasia, fantastic. Well, again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Once again, I'm Terrance Pinkston.
I'm Bailey Riddle.
I'm Megan Petras.
And I'm Katie Petras.
We'll see you next time for episode 188.
That was bloody brilliant.
Codswallop.